The Grand Theft Auto series appeals to a mass mainstream audience. The producer of Grand Theft Auto V, the Rockstar Games, would have targeted their audience through many different factors. The target audience would mainly have been defined similarly to its previous installments, including Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and Grand Theft Auto 4. These installments were primarily targeted at men between the ages of 18 and 30 because of the drug use, alcohol use, violence, explicit language, and sexual references used heavily in all of the games. Rockstar Games would gather figures about the type of people who play their games by ways that include extracting qualitative and quantitative data. This includes reading written reviews and watching video reviews of past games, which is qualitative data, and sending out questionnaires and comment sheets to its current gamers and members of the Rockstar Social Club. The Rockstar Social Club enables gamers to sign up to an online service that provides its users with exclusive content such as in-game features, videos, and desktop backgrounds, as well as the opportunity to interact with other gamers. The information that is provided to the Social Club from its users can be used to determine the average Grand Theft Auto gamer's attributes. Due to Rockstar already being a well-known company, and the Grand Theft Auto series being known worldwide, their target audience didn't need much persuading to purchase the product. Online forums, such as GTAforums.com, allow the hardcore gaming community to create new threads and topics about anything and everything about the games, from missions to characters, and most importantly, new releases. The new release threads would attract a large amount of fans, and when a game is officially announced, the online world goes crazy with gamers researching the new game, extracting every ounce of information about it. The news of new games spreads like wildfire, and so does the advertising. Rockstar's main methods of advertising are primarily online. This is because a very high proportion of their target audience are active internet users. The methods include trailers, banner adverts, pop-up adverts, and articles on game review sites. The trailers are often split into 2 or 3. Teaser trailers, main trailers, and sometimes alternative main trailers, which show the storyline but from a different perspective. Alternative advertisements include magazines, newspapers, and billboards. The typical Grand Theft Auto gamer would usually be around 18 to 30, male, atheist, mainstream, would live in an MEDC, which stands for More Economically Developed Country, and would usually be between C1, C2, D, and E in terms of socio-economic groups. The game has 3 main playable characters. The first character seen is Michael. Michael is a middle-aged, well-off man with a large house, a wife, and 2 children. His house is in an area called West Vinewood in the game, which is a recreation of West Hollywood in Los Angeles, an area which is renowned for being an affluent part of the city. Michael is clearly a representation of extremism within the Los Angeles lifestyle, in this case, having lots of money. Another playable character is Trevor. He lives in a trailer park near the desert, and is clearly a lot poorer than Michael. A result of Trevor's lack of wealth is that he's a bit more free-spirited than Michael, and the game portrays poorer Americans as a bit crazy. The final playable character is called Franklin. He's a black American, and lives in what would be known as a ghetto area in Los Angeles. He has a past which includes lots of crime, and has been to prison at some point as well. This is stereotypical among black Americans who live in poorer communities, as the lack of money leads them to need to steal, sometimes in a violent manner. The police in the game are usually seen as a threat to the character, which young people often feel when approached by the police. This could influence young people to dislike the police force, because some missions in the game actually have the character kill police officers. The 3 playable characters have many different qualities. Michael is straight-talking and hard-working, and struggles to find a balance between family and business. The impact that this has is shown in the game, and may be relatable to a fairly large proportion of the audience, because Michael's children are around the same age as the target audience. One of his children, Jimmy, is into playing video games, which could make him relate to the target audience even more. Rockstar Games' main studio, who are responsible for creating the Grand Theft Auto series, is in Edinburgh, Scotland, while the game is set in a fictional representation of Los Angeles called Los Santos. This means that everything in the game is not actually made in the USA, it's in the UK. The production and marketing budget was £170 million, and the game earned 618,567,000 in just its first day of release. The game was awarded the Game of the Year in the 31st Golden Joystick Awards, as well as Game of the Year by VGX and a BAFTA award for the category British Game. In regards to the Stuart Hall reception theory, the primary target audience would usually have a preferred response to the game. This is because the audience tend to be younger and don't usually tend to have a strong, critical opinion on things such as violence, sexual exploitation, swearing, drinking alcohol and drug use. The game, as with any other GTA game, has been the subject of controversy since its September 2013 release date. One of these is sexism, in particular, the objectification of women in the game. The GTA series has always had opening images, usually of violent-looking men or police, with music in the background. On GTA 5, the images are of women, who have been objectified for their target audience. The images have been carefully created so they are distracting to the male player, to grab his attention as the game begins. One of the women in the images has particularly been controversial, as she strongly resembles Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay filed a lawsuit with Rockstar Games because she felt they'd modelled the character after her, and had the character in one scene leave a building that looked just like the Chateau Marmont Hotel, which is where Lindsay Lohan once lived. Lindsay's lawyer was quoted as saying, "A common interest among all celebrities, actors, singers and athletes has undoubtedly been to protect their likeness and personas from misappropriation by unscrupulous merchandisers who purely seek financial gain without compensation." The game had mainly positive reviews. However, one reviewer in particular, who reviewed the game for GameSpot, mentioned a demeaning view of women in her review. She gave the game a solid 9 out of 10, but said that characters constantly spout lines that glorify male sexuality while demeaning women, and the billboards and radio stations of the world reinforce this misogyny, with ads that equate manhood with sleek sports cars, while encouraging women to purchase a fragrance that will make them smell like a bitch. Yes, these are exaggerations of misogynistic undercurrents in our own society, but not satirical ones. With nothing in the narrative to underscore how insane and wrong this is, all the game does is reinforce and celebrate sexism. The beauty of cruising in the sun-kissed Los Santos hills while listening to Higher Love by Steve Winwood turns sour really quick when a voice comes on the radio that talks about using a woman as a urinal. Some violent crimes have been committed apparently due to the influence of Grand Theft Auto. One that particularly struck me is an 8-year-old boy who shot his 87-year-old grandmother in the back of the head. The shooting happened, coincidentally, in a small town called Slaughter, Louisiana, in the USA. The shooting occurred after the boy had been playing Grand Theft Auto 4, which influenced the boy due to heavy weaponry and violence in the game. The realism of the Grand Theft Auto series is always improving, but this might not always be a good thing.